Have you ever seen a living fossil that can cry? The giant salamander, a bizarre aquatic monster that has survived more than 200 million years of evolution, is now unexpectedly taking on a new role, becoming a unique delicacy, sought after for its sky-high value. So how are millions of giant salamanders raised, cared for, and processed each year? The secretive journey of this extraordinary creature begins at strange farms, where they are bred and raised in environments that perfectly mimic cold mountain streams, until they reach market standards. From there, they are harvested and processed into exotic dishes, capable of sparking curiosity and fascination among diners. Today, join Agriculture Insight as we step into the world of these crying water monsters and uncover the farming secrets that allow humans to conquer this peculiar species. Everything will be revealed in this video. Existing since the age of the dinosaurs, the giant salamander is a true, living fossil, a creature that seems as if it belongs only to legend. After more than 200 million years of evolution, it has retained much of its primitive form, making its body appear so bizarre that it defies belief. With a long, flattened body like a snake, a broad head, and a gaping mouth that takes up nearly half its face, the giant salamander looks both alien and ancient. Its tiny, beady eyes are set deep on either side of its head, almost motionless and seemingly useless, leading many to believe it is blind. In fact, it relies little on sight. Instead, it perceives the world through highly sensitive receptors on its head and skin, functioning like a biological radar to detect movement in the water. Its thick, slimy, wrinkled skin allows it to exchange gases directly with the surrounding water, but only if that water remains clean and rich in oxygen, an ancient mechanism preserved from primitive species. An outstanding giant salamander can grow up to 1.8 meters in length and weigh more than 30 kilograms, making it the largest amphibian in the world. In China, it is popularly known as the wawa fish, or baby fish, because of the eerie cries it makes that resemble the sound of a child weeping, a strange noise that has long sent shivers down the spine of those who hear it echoing through the forest at night. Today, China remains the only nation in the world to develop large-scale commercial farming of the giant salamander, accounting for up to 70% of global production. With millions of individuals raised artificially in specialized farms, China has not only managed to conserve this rare species, but also transformed it into a multi-million-dollar industry. And every journey, no matter how extraordinary, has a starting point. Right now, let us step into the farms hidden deep within China's mountains, where these ancient water monsters begin a new life, in a new role, and where the strangest secrets are still waiting to be discovered. Before a salamander farm can hold thousands of individuals, the very first step is to build a living environment suited to their biological needs. Giant salamanders naturally inhabit mountain streams with cool, clear, oxygen-rich water and a continuous current. Therefore, farming facilities must be designed to closely replicate these natural conditions. Water must be supplied continuously, either directly from streams or through a recirculating filtration system, ensuring temperatures remain between 10 to 20 degrees Celsius and that the water is rich in dissolved oxygen. Roof covers or natural shading are installed to minimize direct sunlight, since this species is highly sensitive to strong light. In addition, each rearing zone must be separated according to growth stages, to facilitate management and disease control. Once the living environment has been perfectly prepared, the next crucial step is selecting breeding stock, the foundation that determines the health, growth rate, and productivity of the entire population. Parent salamanders are typically chosen at 4 to 6 years of age, when their reproductive organs are fully developed and spawning-hatching rates are stable. The ideal weight ranges from 3 to 7 kilograms, with a body length of 60 to 100 centimeters. At this size, the animals are large enough to produce high-quality eggs and sperm, yet still manageable within breeding tanks. Broodstock are usually sourced from reputable breeding centers or from conservation programs that legally allow collection, ensuring the highest genetic value and overall health of the breeding population. Once a healthy broodstock has been established, the farm enters its most dynamic phase, the breeding and spawning season. From late summer to early autumn, when water temperatures remain stable at 16 to 20 degrees Celsius, technicians inject hormones into the parent salamanders to stimulate ovulation and sperm release. After a few hours, eggs are gently extracted from the female through careful abdominal stripping and collected into clean trays filled with cool, oxygen-rich water. Each female can produce 400 to 500 eggs in a single clutch, and exceptionally large individuals may lay more than 600. Fertilization is carried out externally. Sperm is applied directly to the eggs and gently stirred to ensure even contact. After a few minutes, the fertilized eggs are rinsed and immediately transferred to artificial incubation tanks, where water quality, oxygen, and temperature are carefully maintained to achieve a remarkable hatching rate of up to 80%. After fertilization and fixation in the nest, salamander eggs undergo a developmental process lasting about 50 to 60 days. In the early days, the interior of the egg is only a faint embryonic mass. Gradually, eyes and body structures appear, and the larval form becomes more distinct. When the egg membrane splits, a new generation of salamanders emerges, each only 3 to 4 centimeters long, with bright red external gills protruding from either side of the neck. During the first week, they survive on their yolk sac and require no feeding. Afterward, their diet consists of tubifex worms, aquatic insect larvae, or small crustaceans. Rearing tanks for juveniles are maintained with gentle water flow, ample hiding spaces, and low stocking density to reduce competition and prevent cannibalism. This stage is extremely sensitive, requiring close monitoring by farmers to detect early signs of fungal or parasitic infections. When young salamanders reach a length of 10 to 15 centimeters, they are transferred to grow-out tanks or broodstock rearing ponds. At this stage, their diet becomes more diverse, consisting of small fish, shrimp, snails, and protein-rich formulated pellets. As ambush predators, giant salamanders do not actively chase prey. Instead, they remain hidden beneath rocks or close to the bottom, waiting motionlessly until the moment prey swims past. Then, with a sudden gape, they generate a powerful suction that engulfs the victim instantly. On farms, feeding is usually done either by tossing prey directly into the tank for the salamanders to snap up, or by using tongs to place food near their mouths to trigger their predatory reflex. When the bait is within striking range, the strike happens in a split second. Water splashes violently, and the prey vanishes completely into the mouth of the underwater ambusher. Managing millions of individuals is no easy task, which is why each giant salamander is tagged with an RFID microchip to track its origin, monitor its health, and ensure traceability throughout both commercial farming and conservation. After about 2 to 3 years of farming, when the salamanders reach a weight of 1 to 3 kilograms and meet commercial standards in size, skin color, and meat firmness, they are ready to be harvested for sale. This process usually takes place in the early morning or late afternoon to reduce stress on the animals and maintain stable water temperatures. Farmers partially drain the tanks, then use specialized nets or seine nets to gather the salamanders. Because giant salamanders are both strong and extremely slippery, handling must be swift and decisive, yet gentle, to avoid skin abrasions, a factor that directly affects market value. Once captured, the salamanders are immediately placed into holding tanks with cool, oxygen-rich water to calm them and minimize stress. From here, these ancient creatures move one step closer to their destiny of becoming a premium delicacy, enticing adventurous diners with their rarity and uniqueness. In China, giant salamanders, known locally as wawa fish, are often transported live directly to restaurants after harvest to ensure maximum freshness. The most popular dish made from wawa fish is salamander hot pot, where the meat is sliced thinly and dipped into a broth infused with herbs or traditional Chinese medicinal ingredients to preserve its delicate sweetness. For those who have never tasted salamander, imagine meat that is tender yet not crumbly like tilapia, firm like free-range chicken, with a subtle sweetness and a flavor reminiscent of frog meat. Salamander meat is not only uniquely delicious but also rich in high-quality protein, low in fat, packed with collagen and minerals, making it both a culinary delicacy and a nutritious food, often featured in premium dishes. From mysterious mountain streams to modern farms, and finally to premium dining tables, the journey of the giant salamander shows how an ancient, living fossil has been transformed into both a cultural delicacy and a symbol of human ingenuity. With just 0.5 grams of king cobra venom, more than 100 adult humans can be killed. A snake that has instilled fear in both nature and humans for thousands of years. Despite this, surpassing agricultural powerhouses like the United States, Brazil, and India, China not only dominates the world in total agricultural output value, but has also become the global center for domestication of this creature into a profitable industry, with over 600 farms supplying around 80% of the increasingly sought-after commercial snake market. Surprisingly, this surging demand has sparked a frenzy in Australia, where around 3.5 million snakes are raised annually for their skins, serving the global luxury fashion industry worth an estimated $12 billion USD, with iconic brands like Hermes, Gucci, and Prada. What factors are fueling this booming global fascination for snake farming? Unlike conventional livestock such as beef, chicken, or pork, snake meat stands out with its uniquely delicate flavor, high protein content, low cholesterol, and is considered a premium delicacy in Asian culinary culture. Even more notably, snakes are used to make whole-body infused wines, a type of liquor believed to nourish health, boost vitality, and enhance sexual function for those suffering from sexual dysfunction. Alongside meat and skin, snake venom has become a highly valuable resource, with horse-derived serum enabling leading research centers in the United States, Brazil, Mexico, and Thailand to develop life-saving antivenoms that protect millions of lives. Hidden within the small village of Zixiqiao, renowned in Zhejiang Province, China, and famously known as the Snake Village, approximately 800 households have transformed traditional snake farming into a vast industry. covering less than 20 square kilometers and housing over 3 million snakes annually. This place stands as a unique crossroads between ancient tradition and modern technology, revealing the astonishing processes of the global snake farming industry. Everything begins with the breeding process, where farmers select healthy individuals, pair them at optimal ratios, and release them into communal enclosures to initiate reproduction. A unique feature of snakes is that males possess two reproductive organs called hemipenes, located on the underside near the tail. During mating, the male alternates between these two hemipenes to engage the female's cloaca for durations ranging from 20 to 120 minutes. Far superior to humans, aren't they? After a successful mating process, the female snake enters a gestation period lasting from 1 to 2 months, depending on commonly farmed industrial species, such as king cobras, rat snakes, and cobras. This is an extremely sensitive and aggressive phase for the mother snake, requiring a quiet setting, stable temperature, and high humidity to ensure proper egg development. Each clutch of snakes typically contains between 10 and 40 eggs. Like pythons, snake eggs are oval and elongated with thin, soft, slightly rubbery shells that often stick together, distinctly different from crocodile eggs, which have hard and brittle shells. Due to their unique biological instincts, after laying eggs, mother snakes typically do not care for their eggs or offspring. Therefore, breeders must collect the eggs a few hours after laying to transfer them to artificial incubation if they want a healthy next generation. Harvesting eggs is not an easy task, as mother snakes can attack the handler at any time. For docile mothers who rarely react to human presence, breeders can use a small hook to gently scoop each egg from the nest onto a tray without needing to move the snake. However, for aggressive mother snakes or those with strong nest-guarding instincts, egg collection becomes more dangerous, requiring deep understanding of the species' behavior. The golden rule for success during this stage is to keep the mother snake feeling as safe and unthreatened as possible. Therefore, breeders must skillfully lure the female snake out of the enclosure with a hook before carefully collecting the eggs. Every action must be swift, precise, and gentle to ensure safety, prevent egg breakage, and minimize stress for the snake. Once the eggs are removed, the mother snake is returned to her enclosure to continue her life cycle, while the eggs are taken to a specialized incubation room for thorough inspection and care. The ideal temperature is maintained between 28 to 32 degrees Celsius, with humidity around 80 to 90%, creating optimal conditions for uniform embryo development. After approximately 50 to 70 days, the thin, soft shells begin to crack, revealing tiny newborns with their first calls. Immediately after hatching, baby snakes are moved to a separate care area. Interestingly, during the first few days, they do not need to eat, as they rely on the yolk sac remaining inside their bodies for nutrition. Now, the next task for the farmers is to satisfy the hunger of millions of ravenous snakes, each one a demanding eater with a diet unlike any other farm animal. After their first shed, usually occurring between 5 and 10 days, they begin their first feedings, typically on small prey such as pinky mice or finely ground feed. This stage is extremely sensitive, requiring breeders to closely monitor each individual to ensure the highest survival rate, which directly impacts the quality of future generations throughout all subsequent processes. For ravenous danger noodles that are weak or fussy eaters, breeders often isolate them for closer monitoring and use methods such as scenting the prey, offering live feed, or gently assisting with feeding to stimulate appetite and improve survival chances. When snakes grow bigger and stronger, usually between 1 to 2 months old after hatching, they are transferred to separate enclosures to facilitate care, management, and size-based classification. To raise a healthy and uniformly growing clutch of snakes that meet commercial standards, diet is the key factor. Compared to their vulnerable early stage, adult snakes require higher protein intake, larger prey sizes, and feeding cycles adjusted flexibly according to each individual's growth rate. Among their favorite foods, especially for king cobras, is quail. An adult king cobra can consume between 0.3 to 0.5 kilograms of quail meat daily, depending on its weight and health status. Breeders typically prepare live quail, remove feathers, and may add digestive enzymes to aid the snake's digestion. Providing clean, fresh feed in appropriate portions is the secret to faster growth and minimizing risks of digestive disorders or mass refusal to eat. The breeder divides the prey into small dishes and places them throughout the snake enclosure, simulating a natural environment to help the snakes easily access and stimulate their hunting instincts. This is also when the snakes can freely choose their preferred prey during their buffet-style feeding. Throughout the entire rearing process, negligence when handling these cold-blooded reptiles can lead to serious consequences, even posing life-threatening dangers. After patiently waiting for about 12 to 18 months, it's time for the farmer to reap the rewards. The breeder goes to each enclosure using specialized hooks or locking rings to quickly restrain the snakes, then gently places them into transport containers lined with fabric bags or mesh sacks to secure them. One thing you might find strange is that after harvesting, the snakes' mouths are often sewn shut with thread or specialized materials to prevent biting. Despite the high risks, this is a necessary job for many to make a living, and those performing it can be bitten multiple times a day if they lack extensive experience. Have you ever been bitten by a snake? Feel free to share your experience in the comments below. Finally, millions of snakes that meet quality standards are transported to specialty restaurants or processing facilities, moving closer to their final mission. First, we will explore the process of producing snake wine, one of the renowned specialties of the Guangxi region in China, as well as the mountainous areas of Vietnam and Thailand, with a commercial value reaching up to 10 million USD annually. The ingredients typically include whole snakes that have been thoroughly cleaned, or separate parts such as the head, gallbladder, and spine. The snakes are then placed into jars filled with rice wine at an alcohol concentration of around 40% to 50%, allowing the infusion process to extract medicinal compounds such as peptides, enzymes, amino acids, and bioactive proteins. According to traditional beliefs, soaking live snakes is thought to enhance the medicinal value of the wine due to the natural compounds released during the process. The special thing about snake wine is that the longer it is aged, the more valuable it becomes. After aging for about 3 to 5 years, its price can reach thousands of dollars per bottle. While scientific research has yet to fully confirm its effects, it is widely reputed for its ability to nourish health, boost vitality, and treat certain conditions such as sexual dysfunction, joint pain, and chronic fatigue. Besides that, snake meat is also extensively utilized by humans as a high-protein, low-fat food ingredient and has long been featured in traditional medicine. The processing begins with basic steps, removing the skin and internal organs, retaining the firm, white, tender, and low-fat meat. Then, the meat is cut into chunks or thin slices depending on the intended use or market requirements. But the value of snakes doesn't stop there. Snake skin is a crucial component that generates significant profits, thanks to its uniqueness, rarity, and steady demand in the luxury fashion market. The first step in the snake skin processing is to anesthetize or immobilize the snake, after which workers carefully peel off the skin entirely by hand. This process demands patience, precision, and steady hand pressure. Just one slip can tear the skin, cause scale loss, or damage the pattern, which are critical factors in determining the final product's value. After being thoroughly cleaned of blood and mucus, the skin is salted for about 12 to 24 hours to preserve it and prepare it for the tanning process. Following tanning, the snake skin is stretched onto frames to flatten and shape it properly, ensuring a smooth surface for further processing. Next, snake skins are taken out of the conditioning oil baths and carefully spread on glass panels or flat tables. Skilled artisans use rubber squeegees to evenly distribute the oil, remove air bubbles, and press the oil deep into the fibers. Then the skins rest for 6 to 12 hours to allow full absorption and surface stabilization before final finishing. Delving further into the core of the process, after dyeing, skilled artisans employ high-speed polishing wheels, spinning between 1500 and 3000 RPM, to carefully buff the surface of the snake skin, accentuating the distinct scale patterns and producing a natural shine. Following polishing, the snake skins move through an automated spraying system that applies a uniform protective layer, enhancing gloss, locking in color stability, and safeguarding the surface, readying the skins for final inspection and export. It's no coincidence that fashion houses like Gucci, Hermes, and Versace favor this material. Snake skin is not only lightweight, durable, and flexible, but also features unique patterns, each piece a natural fingerprint that cannot be duplicated, making it ideal for handcrafted luxury products valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is not the end of the value chain. Venom extraction, the most valuable product from snakes, has transformed a once deadly substance into a vital component of life-saving medicines and advanced medical therapies. The process begins with a seemingly simple yet inherently dangerous step: milking the snake for venom. Each snake selected for milking must meet strict criteria. It must not be shedding, not stressed, and fully recovered from the previous milking. Technicians use specialized tools to clamp the snake's head, then gently press its neck down on a table for control. As a defensive reflex, the snake bites through the rubber membrane, causing venom to drip into the vial. This clear liquid, sometimes with a golden or pale green tint, is the raw material for the billion-dollar anti-venom industry. Although only about 10 to 30 milligrams of venom is collected per session, just 5 milligrams of cobra venom can be fatal to an adult if not treated promptly. Immediately after collection, the venom is rapidly frozen or lyophilized to preserve its biological activity, as the enzymes in venom are extremely sensitive to temperature and light. Any slight mishandling can render the entire batch worthless. After collection, the venom is diluted and injected in increasing doses into large animals, such as horses, to stimulate the immune system to produce specific antibodies against the toxins. This process lasts from several weeks to months, with each injection carefully monitored to ensure the horse is not overwhelmed by the toxin. Once the antibody levels in the blood reach the required threshold, the horse's blood is drawn and centrifuged to separate the serum. The antibody-containing serum is then filtered, purified, and tested before being packaged in liquid or lyophilized form. The final product is anti-venom, the only biological preparation capable of neutralizing toxins in humans severely bitten by snakes. The entire production process requires high precision, strict sterile conditions, and is overseen by pharmaceutical facilities or specialized toxin research centers. Each vial of antivenom is the result of months of careful cultivation, testing, and storage, all starting from a single drop of venom. Each year, as many as 137,000 people lose their lives to snake bites, a heartbreaking figure that highlights the severe lack of access to antivenom treatment. Yet only 10 to 20% of victims receive timely medical care, as the cost of each vial can reach thousands of dollars, far beyond the means of most people. The question is not only how to produce more antivenom, but how to ensure this life-saving treatment reaches everyone, regardless of wealth, so that every drop of antivenom is not a luxury commodity, but a real chance for survival for thousands who are waiting. Ranked among the top 3 most feared creatures, just behind snakes and spiders, cockroaches' fear is not unfounded. They are often associated with filth, dwelling in garbage and sewers, and are known to spread harmful diseases such as dysentery, typhoid, and hepatitis A. However, we might be misunderstanding them, and these cockroaches really deserve a bit of justice. Of the more than 4,500 cockroach species recorded worldwide, only a few, like the German cockroach and the Oriental cockroach, are truly the main culprits, sneaking into every corner of your kitchen and bathroom. And the most remarkable thing is that there is only one cockroach species in the world that is extensively exploited due to its large size, superior reproduction rate, minimal risk of carrying diseases, and rich bioactive compounds: the American cockroach. In China, particularly in provinces like Shandong, Sichuan, and Henan, the cockroach farming model is quietly evolving into a modern, scientific, and closed-loop industry. This rapid growth is spreading to other countries such as Thailand, Vietnam, South Korea, and Japan, with thousands of farms serving various industries and generating hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. Before establishing a cockroach farm with millions, even billions of cockroaches, the first thing farmers need to prepare is a suitable shelter for them to settle and reproduce. Unlike traditional livestock farming models, cockroach farming does not require large spaces or elaborate pens. Since cockroaches are nocturnal, prefer humid environments, and live on surfaces without traveling far, the most important factor is creating a closed, stable environment with dense hiding spaces. Farmers use specialized shelter boards, often made of plywood, shaped cardboard, or slotted plastic, stacked vertically in wooden cubic boxes. Each box contains dozens of these boards, creating narrow gaps, which are the ideal spaces for cockroaches to cling to, shelter, and lay their eggs. In addition, the cockroach breeding room is designed to be completely enclosed, without windows or natural light, with the temperature consistently maintained between 28 to 32 degrees Celsius, and humidity ranging from 65 to 75%, creating optimal conditions for rapid growth and molting. The next factor in creating a thriving cockroach kingdom in the darkness is breeding. With a reproduction rate of 600 to 800 offspring per female during its lifespan, usually lasting around 10 to 14 months, it's not an exaggeration to say that an entire farm of millions of cockroaches can start from just a few dozen individuals. What's particularly remarkable is that throughout their lifespan, cockroaches only need to mate once to reproduce and sustain dozens of generations without mating again. Even more impressive than humans, right? After mating, the female cockroach begins to produce an ootheca, a flat, oval-shaped egg case that is light brown in color. Each ootheca contains about 15 to 20 eggs, and it is typically held inside the female's abdomen for about 4 to 6 days to complete the embryonic development before being expelled. After approximately 25 to 35 days, depending on temperature and humidity, the nymphs begin to emerge from the egg case. Remarkably, newly hatched cockroaches look very different from the adults. Their bodies are small, rice grain-sized, white in color, without wings, and very fragile. They will undergo several molts, gradually turning darker brown, then reddish brown, and eventually developing into fully grown adult cockroaches. The entire process takes about 3 to 4 months, depending on the care conditions and breeding density. Once a cockroach farm is populated with millions of individuals packed together, the next key factor to consider is feeding. Cockroaches are among the most polyphagous insects, capable of consuming almost any type of organic matter, from breadcrumbs, cereal, fruit peels, and rotting vegetables, to leftover food, soy residue, and even decaying paper or cardboard. Thanks to their digestive system's ability to break down cellulose and the powerful symbiotic bacteria in their gut, cockroaches can extract maximum nutrients from seemingly worthless food sources. This characteristic makes cockroaches highly efficient biological waste processors, while also significantly reducing the cost of breeding. In addition to food scraps, professional farms use a mix of rice bran, cornmeal, dried bread, chopped fruit peels, and occasionally add probiotics, digestive enzymes, or trace minerals to improve metabolism. Furthermore, cockroaches do not need to drink water directly, but mainly absorb moisture through their bodies or from soft food sources. Feeding is done on a regular cycle, typically 1 to 2 times a day, depending on the cockroach density and age. The food is placed directly into trays, positioned between the shelter gaps for the cockroaches to crawl out and feed. With multi-layered trays, breeders distribute food at fixed spots in the middle of the racks to ensure even distribution, avoiding overcrowding at any one point, which could lead to competition and suffocation. Due to the cockroach's omnivorous, hardy nature, many people mistakenly believe that they can survive well even when starved for a few days. However, in industrial conditions, just 24 to 48 hours without food or water can cause cockroaches to become weak, grow slowly, lose their ability to reproduce, or even start cannibalizing each other. During this process, strict quarantine and biosecurity measures are key to maintaining a healthy colony. The main farming area is regularly disinfected, with temperature, humidity, air quality, and feed hygiene carefully controlled. At large-scale research and production centers, such as Good Doctor Pharmaceutical Group in Sichuan Province and the Institute of Insect Sciences at Zhejiang University, the cockroach farming industry has reached new heights, with facilities spanning thousands of square meters. Because American cockroaches are large, fast, and capable of flight, containment is difficult. Therefore, the foremost requirement in cockroach farming is rigorous isolation and biosecure enclosures to prevent any escape into the environment. Large-scale farms often use a surrounding water channel system as a natural barrier that cockroaches cannot cross. In many cases, this is combined with aquaculture, such as raising fish or eels in the channels, to boost economic efficiency, make use of insects that fall in as feed, and immediately eliminate any cockroaches that manage to escape. After about 4 to 6 months from the time an egg case is laid, the adult cockroaches begin to enter the harvesting phase. However, harvesting cockroaches is not as simple as catching fish or collecting eggs. At this point, the farmers apply force by shaking or striking the rearing panels, causing millions of cockroaches to simultaneously drop from their shelters. Instantly, they begin scurrying in all directions, creating a scene that is both chaotic and unsettling, forcing workers to quickly collect them before they can hide again. And the weapon humans use to fight against the cockroach escape frenzy is water. The breeders will pour the cockroaches from the trays into a smooth, high plastic container to prevent them from climbing out, and then immediately add water. Although cockroaches cannot breathe underwater, this does not cause them to drown, as they can survive due to their ability to withstand a lack of oxygen for short periods. However, the water frightens them and disorients them, and that's when humans regain control. And when one life cycle ends, they come closer to their ultimate mission, which still raises doubts among millions, becoming food, pharmaceuticals, and even cosmetics. The first step in the cockroach processing procedure is to completely dry them in a sunny area. The goal of this process is not to make the cockroaches die immediately, but to dehydrate them and stop their physiological activities, ensuring long-term preservation without mold or spoilage. After about 6 to 8 hours under a temperature range of 28 to 32 degrees Celsius, the exoskeleton becomes brittle with a reddish-brown hue and no longer emits a foul odor. At this point, the cockroaches are ready for the next step. Cockroaches, especially the American cockroach, contain a very high protein content, up to 60% of their dry weight, along with essential amino acids, healthy fats, and B vitamins. This exceptional nutritional value makes cockroaches a potential raw material for protein-rich supplements and animal feed. Many diners, after trying fried cockroaches for the first time, admit that they are as crispy as fried shrimp shells, as fragrant as crispy pork fat, with a light nutty aftertaste like roasted chestnuts, despite their terrifying appearance. So, if given the chance, would you want to try the unique flavor of this insect? In addition to being used as food, cockroaches are also used in traditional medicine to treat swelling, boils, and minor burns. In some rural areas of China, dried cockroaches are ground into a paste and directly applied to the affected area to promote healing. This is because cockroaches contain many antibacterial peptides and tissue-regenerating compounds, which help heal the skin quickly. From traditional knowledge, cockroaches have gradually been utilized more in the modern pharmaceutical and cosmetic industries. In specialized factories, dried cockroaches are processed into fine powder, potent liquid extracts, or concentrated biological solutions, with prices typically around 40 to 50 USD kilograms and up to about 350 US kilograms for high-quality products. These are then used as key ingredients in pharmaceuticals for stomach ulcers and intestinal inflammation, as well as in scar-healing creams and skin regeneration serums. With the unexpected values that cockroaches bring, from biological waste processing to becoming a valuable resource in various industries, we cannot deny that this once despised creature now holds an irreplaceable position in the modern world. After days of hard work and patient waiting, it's finally time for farmers to reap the rewards of their labor. In the past, silkworm cocoons were harvested entirely by hand. Farmers would skillfully pluck each cocoon from the bamboo frames using their fingers. While this manual method was simple and low cost, it was extremely time-consuming when dealing with tens of thousands of cocoons in a single batch. That's why, with the rise of industrial-scale sericulture, the demand for higher efficiency and reduced labor led to the development of mechanical aids. Today, semi-automatic hand-operated machines and fully automated cocoon harvesters are widely used, increasing harvesting speed by 5 to 10 times compared to manual methods, minimizing loss, and ensuring uniform cocoon quality. This marks a crucial transformation that helps modernize the silk industry and expand its reach to global markets. And from here, the fate of each cocoon and the silkworm pupa inside takes one of two paths. A fortunate few will continue their life cycle, emerging as moths to produce eggs for the next season, The rest are sent to the factory, where their golden threads are transformed into luxurious silk. When thousands of tons of cocoons arrive at the factory, the transformation into silk begins with the sorting stage. Skilled workers carefully examine each cocoon, selecting them based on criteria such as size, weight, uniformity, and shell thickness. Only the highest quality cocoons are chosen for premium silk production, ensuring the final product meets the finest standards of texture and craftsmanship. Next comes a critical step to prevent the silkworm from developing into a moth and breaking the cocoon. This is done by exposing the live cocoons to high temperatures through methods such as steam treatment, hot air drying, or immersion in hot water. This process not only halts metamorphosis, but also sterilizes the cocoons and preserves the unbroken structure of the silk filaments, ensuring longer shelf life and superior thread quality. But that alone isn't enough to soften the saracen, the natural protein that acts as glue, binding the silk fibers together. So after the pupae are removed, the cocoons are gently warmed in hot water at around 60 to 90 degrees Celsius. Now, the heart of the entire process begins to beat, as the softened cocoons enter the mesmerizing silk reeling stage. If you look closely, you'll notice the rotating brushes gently swirling in hot water, not only to loosen the outer saracen layer, but also to skillfully locate the silk filament's end, finer than a strand of hair. As soon as the brushes uncover and separate this delicate tip from the cocoon, a sharp-eyed worker quickly identifies it and carefully guides it into the reeling machine. From there, shimmering strands flow like a silver stream, each formed by combining threads from 5 to 10 cocoons and wound evenly onto spools. Though a single cocoon can yield up to 1,000 meters of silk, it takes between 2,500 to 3,000 cocoons to produce just half a kilogram of raw silk, the precious material behind the world's finest silks. Once the raw silk threads are drawn, they move on to the twisting stage, where multiple fine filaments are gently spun together to enhance their strength, consistency, and suitability for weaving. This is also the moment when skilled artisans can blend different silk types to create unique textures, desired thicknesses, or subtle variations in color and sheen. Interestingly, the twisting density of silk is entirely different from that of wool or alpaca fiber. Animal fibers, being shorter and more fragile, require a tighter twist to ensure durability. In contrast, silk filaments are naturally long, smooth, and lustrous, needing only a gentle twist to preserve their signature drape, softness, and shimmer. This delicate balance gives each silk thread a soul of its own, shaping not only the texture, but also the emotion and elegance of the fabric it will soon become. However, to truly reach their full potential, the freshly spun silk threads must undergo a special transformation, the degumming process. This is done by soaking the twisted threads in warm water mixed with a mild, alkaline solution. As the saracen slowly dissolves, what remains is the pure essence of silk, lighter, softer, and unbelievably smooth. In that very moment, the thread awakens, no longer raw fiber, but a living material ready to become something magical. Before being placed on the loom, premium silk threads undergo a special step, yarn dyeing, a moment when artisans breathe soul into each living strand of silk. Each bundle of silk is soaked in a dye bath for 4 to 6 hours, where natural colorants, extracted from indigo leaves, pomegranate rinds, rosewood, or sappanwood roots, seep deep into the fibers. This traditional yarn dyeing technique forms the foundation for intricate woven patterns, such as ikat or brocade. Meanwhile, for solid-colored silks or hand-painted fabrics, the entire cloth is dyed after weaving, creating flowing layers of color that blend harmoniously, soft and fluid like water. After the dyeing process, the premium silk threads are ready to enter their final stage, weaving. Depending on the intended use and local traditions, the silk may be woven on traditional handlooms or modern industrial machines. Regardless of the method, this is the moment when thousands of threads move rhythmically, crisscrossing, undulating, flowing with softness yet precision, to form smooth, lustrous sheets of silk. Each woven fabric is no longer just a material. It is a living artwork, ready to become garments, art pieces, or one-of-a-kind handcrafted masterpieces.